Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. The Chamber of Commerce and a number of key stakeholders met on Friday, the 24th of January, to outline a strategic roadmap for trade facilitation. The key components of the initiative look to foster ease of doing business, ease of export and import trade, and an injection of capital into the St. Lucian economy through a roadmap that excites foreign capital.
Trade facilitation was the topic of discussion at a recently held conference involving key stakeholders within the trade and commerce industry. The ceremony was a two-in-one event, first bringing an end to the module of the Trade Facilitation Committee's empowerment session, and second, the launch of St. Lucia's Trade Facilitation Implementation Roadmap. Executive Director of the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, Brian Louisi, says the Chamber of Commerce remains optimistic as he outlines the future with the implementation of the Trade Facilitation Roadmap.
The St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce and the wider private sector, and I dare say the entire nation, supports the TFA, the objectives and aims, because the potential benefits that this much touted agreement can bring for countries such as ours is real. Therefore, the Chamber intends to use all within its power and available resources to ensure that this hope is not a forlorn hope, but one which will, in the not-too-distant future, become an unquestionable truth as the much-heralded benefits of the TFA are felt by many, if not all. The development of the roadmap, we believe, is extremely important and useful for many reasons, including that of efficiency and time savings.
Furthermore, Louisi expresses the business community's tiredness with drawn-out dialogue sessions and the need for a more action-oriented approach to trade facilitation.
Seriously, the business community in St. Lucia has become bored and frustrated by the numerous circuitous conversations on trade facilitation and ease of doing business. The truth is, our resources have been stretched thin attempting to keep up with the many meetings and consultations and task forces which at this time have very little tangible and practical results to show. Thus, noting with admiration how this event has found it fitting to morph two generally parallel efforts into one, yet still remain focused, is, to me, a very good signal.
In the end, Louisi notes the benefits brought about through ease of trade facilitation will not only be for the business community, but mainly the citizenry.
While it may appear on a prima facie level, it is not the business community. Please understand that. All of this effort by the governments is not just to benefit the private sector as the end-all and be-all of these efforts. The ultimate beneficiaries of these and our efforts, your efforts, are the people of St. Lucia. This is who we're trying to benefit. The aim of all of this is to impact positively on the welfare of millions of not-so-rich people. I need to make this point because it often goes ignored or it is delicately placed on the back burner. The benefits are from reduction in trade costs, including faster processing, reduced processes, improved systems, and consequently lower costs of bringing in the final good into a country benefits the consumer foremost.
Key stakeholders in attendance at the launch of the Trade Facilitation Roadmap included the Bureau of Standards, the Ministry of Commerce, Customs and Excise Department, and St. Lucia Shipping Association. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
A new home for the Castries Fisherfolk Cooperative was commissioned earlier this week, signaling a new era for the organization and its membership. The Ministry of Agriculture's Amanda Faye Clark tells us more.
The overarching aim of the Castries Fishers Cooperative Society Limited is to improve the livelihoods of its member fishers and that of the Castries fishing community, while promoting the sustainable use of marine resources, contribute to food and nutrition security, and economic and social developments. President of the Castries Fishers Cooperative Society Limited, Thaddeus Augustine, says the time is ripe for the entity's membership to step into the future and play a greater role in their development and safety, particularly while out at sea. 3 critical areas were singled out for focus this year, namely capacity building, policy advocacy, and policy engagement.
When talking about fishers and cooperatives, there are a lot to talk about, such as climate change, safety at sea, bylaws, weather report, marine police, open season, closed season for fisheries, and the list can go on and on. But I do not really want to talk about these things. I want to make reference to just what we call a seed. A small seed was sown.
Minister with responsibility for the island's fisheries development, Honorable Ezekiel Joseph, in applauding the latest achievement of the Castries Fishers Cooperative Society Limited, insists that the organization's vigor in attending to the needs of its membership is seen by his ministry's leaders as commitment to further exploration and augmentation of interventions to enhance the potential of the national fisheries economy.
We see this sector as very important. Very, very important. Because when we look at the figures last year, the first half of last year, compared to 2018, the figures are very encouraging. Over $22 million was realized by that sector. $22 million for the first half of last year only. The only other sector that can compete with the fishery sector now is the banana industry. So which means your contribution is significant. In fact, the figures for 2019 between January to June is 50% higher than what we realized in 2018.
Developing the capacity and knowledge base of its members to manage successful fisheries operations and to participate in sustainable fisheries governance and management at all levels are some of the areas to receive attention in 2020. From the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Amanda Fee Clark reporting.
Increasing exports from the island remains a major endeavor for the various industries tasked with the responsibility. Hot 7 TV sat down with the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry for Commerce, International Trade, Investment, Enterprise Development and Consumer Affairs to discuss some of the major concerns facing small businesses and the export trade. The Ministry of Commerce, Business Development, Investment and Consumer Affairs is continuing to provide support to the small business sector to ensure greater ease in the use of the nation's ports to facilitate trade. The targeted support to the small business sector is part of a rigorous government-led drive to improve the business climate in St. Lucia. Speaking in an interview with Hot 7 TV, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Sophia Henry, stressed the importance of government supporting small businesses in facing hindrances to export.
The ministry is so organized to assist them, especially if it's exporters. We have Exports St. Lucia. I know Exports St. Lucia works with all of our export-ready businesses, whether small, medium, or large. They get a lot of assistance from Exports St. Lucia. Exports St. Lucia continuously liaises with external agencies, donor agencies, to assist them to, make them more efficient and make it more cost-effective for them to overcome some of these challenges, such as, the higher cost of packaging, etc.
She says even though St. Lucia is a small island developing state, it is seen as a competitor, and as such, products being exported from the island do not receive any preferential treatment on the world market. She says there is need for collaboration between the public and private sector in developing a positive reputation for the island's exports.
No one person or agency can really put together or work on this implementation to enhance the trade process. So the ministry is really playing a role of coordinator as we coordinate and we monitor to ensure timely implementation of all the requirements of the Trade Facilitation Agreement. As it stands now, we are just in the process. We just launched a roadmap. So we have the blueprint which will guide us and direct us as we work on both exports and imports. Okay, so we will not just be focusing on exports, but also making it easier to trade for our importers.
She touts the success of Export St. Lucia in securing several export contracts for local products and invites small business owners to capitalize on the available resources for business development. A team from the West Virginia Eye Institute is back in St. Lucia working to address the vision needs of children through the Kids in Sight program.
The St. Lucia Blind Welfare Association, in collaboration with the West Virginia Eye Institute, recently embarked on the Kids in Sight program aimed at providing support to children with eye problems for vision care, rehabilitation, and surgeries at no cost. Pediatric eye surgeon of the West Virginia Eye Institute, Dr. Terry Schwartz, says she's very pleased to continue providing eye care to children as it changes their life immensely.
When we first started, we had cases of cancer in the eye that we had to deal with. Most of the work that I do is surgery for children that have squint. We also take care of children with cataracts. Believe it or not, some children have cataracts. It's not just an old person's disease. We care for children with glaucoma. Again, you would think that's something you see in an older person, but some of our children are unlucky enough to be born with it. We also provide glasses, so we provide hundreds of glasses prescriptions. We measure and we make the glasses for the kids.
Medical Officer of Victoria Hospital, Dr. Alicia Eugene Ford, applauded the efforts of the team from West Virginia Eye Institute and says the Department of Health will continue supporting the Kids in Sight program.
Kids in Sight is a program that I think is very beneficial. We at Victoria Hospital, and I think I could speak for as well for the Ministry of Health. We are very happy when Kids in Sight or when any team comes down to offer assistance that we need. And we have children that have been trying to get certain operations done and they may not have been able to come up with the full payment, but with Kids in Sight, it allows them to be operated on without any cost to the parents or to the children. For us, it's very important because I think children are our generations to come and then they are our future. So if there's anything we can do at Victoria Hospital, we ensure that we actually invested in our future.
Staff and physicians of the Victoria Hospital also engaged in a knowledge-sharing session on eye care and surgery with the team from the West Virginia Eye Institute. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fernal Neptune.
Stay with us. Sports and weather are coming up after the break.